number 6 goal?
Hello everybody, this is Henok speaking now from Cancun, Mexico here. I'm from Canada actually, but we're here with Jamie Pricket, the industry disruptor. Jamie, my buddy, this is a young, amazing person that is changing the industry, the financial industry, which excites me. Normally, you know, there are a lot of good things done out there, but I have a big respect to Jamie because of what he's done in the financial industry. I'm gonna deep dive in it. This financial industry, the way that we're operating, that Jamie is operating, is this has started from 70s. But why changing now? Who is Jamie? What has he done? And what's his philosophy? That's what I want to learn today. And I want to share it with you. I've heard that many times, and you know what? It's worth having you on our social media so that people know about you. Jamie, tell me about you, please.
Grew up in a small town and got into the insurance business after 3 years out of high school. I was working as a factory worker and I hated every day of it. And I decided to leave the factory job and I went full-time in the insurance business. I got recruited to a multi-level type company and I thought I was going to make millions. I thought I'm going to be rich. This is going to be it. It's going to be amazing. And I struggled. I struggled for 10 years there. My wife and I met my wife there at that company, and after 10 years of being there, we decided to go out and be independent agents because I was good at the sales process. I knew how to, talk with customers and show them the valuable products that we can offer. And I became an independent agent, and it changed my life. I mean, almost instantly. We were able to buy our first home together and do some amazing things. After 2 years, I say that I got bored, and my wife started feeling like we need to save people from some of these other companies that just quite honestly aren't doing it right, because there's so many people that struggle in this industry. As a matter of fact, 84% of all agents fail within their first 4 years. And we thought, we've got to be able to fix that. So that's when we put this company together and hoped and prayed that it could happen. And here we are 9 years later, 3,000 licensed agents. We've got over 100 of our teammates here on this trip with us. And it's just, I mean, a trip that was a dream for us. We've been able to help others live out some dreams as well. So it's been amazing.
What? Me and my wife have never dreamed coming here and having this type of amazing trip. And thank you very much for that, by the way. And my biggest question here, the industry is very big. It's very big. What makes you and Leanne decide that you can make a change? Where did you get that boldness?
Well, the industry, for the most part, most large organizations are run by a board of directors or shareholders that control the board of directors, and it's not really looking at the end user of the entity, which is the agents. So we wanted to build the company where the agents, the Henoks, were the kings and queens of the operation, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in Mexico. If it wasn't for Roz, if it wasn't for Derek, if it wasn't for Billy Bob over here, we wouldn't have a company. So we wanted to make sure that all the goodies go to the people that are helping us build the company. And that's what we decided to do. And the way we structured it from a business standpoint is we looked at the benefits of the multi-tier companies like the one that I started in for 10 years, because there was some, same with you as well. So there were some positives to it. There were some negatives. Then we looked at the career agencies where you can only sell one company's product, but they had a lot of great training and support and mentorship, but they really lacked in compensation. They lacked in flexibility of products, being able to offer the best solutions for the clients because you're limited to one. And then we also looked at the independent model, which is one of my favorite of the three, because it gives the clients the ability to, or the agents the ability to shop the market, provide the absolute best value for the customer, but it also paid the highest compensation, but they had no system in place to train a greenie just trying to get into the industry, right? It's kind of like they'll recruit someone and then just let them die if they're going to die. And this is why I think the industry's numbers are so terrible when it comes to the turnaround of agents that aren't having success. We looked at the pros of all three of those. We put it together and we left all the other garbage, and we call that our tribrid system. You've heard of a hybrid combination of two. We coined it a tribrid. So that's where we took the best of three and put it together.
That's awesome. There is one thing that surprised me, by the way. So 3,000 plus agents in this very short time. That's big. But what surprised me most is the compliance. How did you manage? It's not easy. We independent or brokers or self-employed, let me call it that way. So when we build business, it is not easy to go out and do business to begin with. But Experior Financial Group was able to help educate and stay compliant.
Yeah.
I mean, all the paperwork, every client must be served. How did you manage your team and I mean the head office to make sure that everybody is treated properly when it comes to clients? Clients are getting the right service. Otherwise, sometimes we get response say, why did you give this type of service to this client, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it surprised me. How do you manage all that?
Yes.
That's a real question.
So if we started 9 years ago with 3,000 agents, the answer would be we couldn't have.
Yeah.
But we grew just little bit by little bit. It was just consistency. My sister actually called me maybe a year ago now, and she called me up one night, and I think she had a couple wines, and she goes, Jamie, you're so brilliant. She goes, how did you do this?
Yeah.
Like, you have a head office staff, you got janitors that clean your office, you've got trips that we do, the conventions, you've got all these agents and all these stuff. You're just a genius, Jamie. And I said, Corey, I'm no smarter than you. I said, I learned the next thing after the next thing after the next thing. And it's the same with people that get involved in our business, Enoch. I could ask you the same question. How did you get to the point where you knew how to train people? How you knew how to run these kind of online meetings and attract people to your business? And how did you learn all the different products? You didn't learn it all yesterday.
No.
You learned it over the last several years.
Absolutely.
And that's how we built the company. We knew what we needed to know when we needed to know it, right? And we just took one step in front of the other. So that's really how it came together.
Is that, Jamie, because you don't have anything to do, you don't have kids, you don't have nothing, you just live alone, or how does that work?
Yeah, you know, I'm a single guy. I got a bachelor lifestyle. No, not at all. No, I'm married, have 4 children, you know, and a grandbaby now. So yeah, and we built this company with all 4 children, all under our roof. I mean, so it was a struggle to balance, but I figured that we got to work somewhere anyways. Why not work for ourselves, right? We had to put in the hours somewhere. So rather than trading our time for money, helping someone create their dream, why not trade our time for money, creating our own dream, and show agents how to do the same thing within this organization and the structure?
You know what, Jamie? It's a real privilege sitting with you and chatting this. You know why? Because sometimes we procrastinate, or we say we limit ourselves.
Yeah.
We say, you know what, I can't do this, right? Because I have kids. I have 1 kid, I have 2 kids. I have to take care of my babies at home, right?
Yeah.
But you and Leanne are taking care of 4 children of yours. In fact, sometimes there's a challenge when you tell on the stage. Sometimes surprise me. There's a challenge. One of your children goes to the hospital, and you have to go and make sure the business is running as well.
Yeah.
And you're young and you're managing all this.
Yeah.
It really surprised me. Tell me about the compliance. That was recently there was an audit from FSRA
Yes.
from Ontario. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that was interesting because we are one of the 3 companies that's actually grown in Canada.
Yeah.
There's only 3 that are really growing at a fast pace, and we happen to be one of them.
Yeah.
Well, they did this thematic review of 3 different MGAs. That's what we're called in Canada, Managing General Agency, and there was Experior and 2 other companies. They then decided to put out a report on the findings of this audit, or it wasn't an audit, it was a review. And it was a 6-month review, and our compliance team worked with them, and they loved us, and everything was great. Like we had no issues. I can't say the same for other parties that were a part of that review.
Yeah.
However, they published it that, hey, FSRA said that these 3 companies have been reviewed, and these were the findings. Except those weren't our findings. That was a collection of the 3, and we got kind of thrown in with the same kind of nonsense. So I put out a publication immediately after saying, actually, this is our company, and this is what we are. I was recently at a KALBA meeting, which is an industry-wide meeting with all the different MGAs and everything, and right on stage they had one of the people that were a part of this review process, and I put up my hand with the first question. I said, my recommendation for the next time you do a thematic review of multiple different companies, I said, I recommend that when you publish the results, do them individually. Share individually how this one did, how this one did, and how this one did. Don't group us together, because we are not even in the same ball game as any other company, let alone the 2 others that they coupled us in with. So that was exciting, but the good thing is we got out, no issues. The other 2 did have issues. One of them's got an ongoing issue, but we didn't have any issues. So it was beautiful.
That's amazing. Another question last year. Let me turn this off. So another question here. So after you do all the hard work, so normally people at your level have their own pilot and their own jet. Do you have one?
No, I don't. And it's because I'm not in a position right now financially that I think it'd be fiscally responsible to do that. You know, my wife and I built the company fair. You know, we pay ourselves the same way that we pay our agents, right? So although our company is valued at some 50, 60 million, we're not selling it. So unless we sold it, our net worth is not going to be the 50, 60 million, 80% of that, because 20% goes to our agents so far, right? And more as we issue more shares.
Share, by the way.
Yeah. but no, we're just not in a position to do that. The other thing is that I'm not ready to travel the world yet. I'm 43 years young. I feel like God put me here for a reason, and the reason wasn't to sit on a beach my whole life, right? I'll sit on a beach for a few days, but I'll be honest with you, I've been here for 10 days now in Mexico. I'm ready to go home. So I was talking to my wife today, I'm like, do you think was 12 days long enough? She's like, I'm ready to go right now, you know? So, you know, what else are we going to do with our lives? We got the opportunity, Enoch, to inspire people and tell them and show them how they can achieve great things. How do you not get excited about that every day, right? And that's what I get to do for a living.
The reason I asked this for is because, you know, you are in a position to get the biggest check for yourself and distribute the rest to the agents.
Sure. Yeah.
But you don't.
No.
And the other big thing that I saw is you're giving the opportunity for the agents to own part of the mothership.
Yeah.
How does that work? Where does that come from?
Well, when we built it, one thing that we were frustrated about, number one, when I left my former company after 10 years, they told me I owned my business. They even called me a business owner. I found out I didn't own anything. Matter of fact, I even got sued by them multiple years afterwards. So I didn't own anything when I left them. And I said to my wife, my wife and I were talking about this, we want our agents to own their business from day one when they join Experior. Any customer that they help, they're going to own that relationship, so that if they left us, they could take that relationship to another brokerage. If they're not happy with us, then take your business elsewhere, right? We don't want to hold hostage the relationships that you develop. You see, Enoch, you have a lot of customers.
Exactly.
I've never met one of them.
None.
So what right do I have to own those relationships?
I drive actually on the snow, and when it's hot, when it's cold, I am there.
Yeah, that's right.
In my winter tire, making sure that I don't slip on the road.
That's right.
And I want and serve. And by the way, when I come to Experior, I was told that I don't own the clients, and I was given actual letter not to go and ask or talk to any of my clients.
Yeah.
And I was told to submit all electronic and paper. Any paper that's related to documentation of the client, and I did.
Yeah.
And so
which is insanity, because they didn't get those customers for you. You got those customers for you, right? And that's how we decided to design it. When it came to the shares, that was an easy one. I knew that if someone owns a piece of the mothership, it becomes a part of their baby too, right? Exactly. Not just I'm building a agency, I'm building a team, I'm building a client base that I own, but I own a piece of the mothership. And what I found out is when you give people ownership, they take so much more pride in that, right? See, you're working with other people here on the resort, you're learning from each other, people that you don't have an immediate vested interest in, but you want to see them succeed because they're a part of the mothership, right? Because you own a piece of the mothership. So to me, it was a no-brainer.
I love it. I love it. You know what, Jamie, you're an inspiration. Big inspiration. You and Leah have shown us the integrity, the work ethic, and working and getting. I remember when I was recruiting people in my team, 10 p.m. in the evening, I called you and you picked the phone, and the system was a little bit glitching, and you fixed it right there. I said, this guy, a millionaire, don't pick a phone at this time. It's family time, right?
Yeah.
And you did all that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you know what? I want to see you in a big place, and along with you, all of us are right in there.
Absolutely, and I look forward to seeing some people watching this in Mexico on our next trip.
Exactly. Guys, if you want to know more about Experior Financial Group, I will attach on my bio, whether you are on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or TikTok here. Go check my bio and you'll find the link there, either on top or on the side, and see what Jamie Pricket has done and Leah has done in the business and what the company model is. Learn from that. If there is any question, please comment and tell me what you want to ask there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. You're the best.